Howdy folks, I'm Aspirational Aquilia, avariciously acquiring abstract art.
I'm Amber.
And here is more abstract art for us to steal because we're an eagle with sticky claws. Folks, I just want to let you know that Aquilia is the bird that apparently carried Jupiter/Zeus's lightning bolts. So a real powerful eagle here. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Divorcing My Husband Over a Puzzle? I'm a 34-year-old female, and my husband is a 35-year-old male, and we've been married for 6 years now. When we met, we were kids, and we grew up together in a small town. Everybody always knew that we were going to end up together. I have a hobby of doing puzzles, and I would often encourage my husband to join me, expressing that it would make me really happy if he took an interest in what I was doing. However, when I told my husband this, he would just laugh at me and says that he has better things to do than care home activities. That comment always rubbed me the wrong way, but I know my husband can be insensitive to these things, so I never commented on that further. My husband and I are very different. While he prefers to go out hiking or meet up with friends in his spare time, I would rather stay at home and read a book or cook or do puzzles at home. While I wouldn't call myself an introvert, my husband often told me that I should make a greater effort to socialize more and get out. Recently, this topic has been appearing more and more in our arguments, so last week I asked him why it bothered him so much that I don't like to go out as much as him, and he told me that it was a waste of a pretty face. I told him that I didn't appreciate that comment and that he shouldn't have married me if what I did in my spare time was such a problem for him. He scoffed and told me that he shouldn't have married me either. He then left the house and didn't come back until night, when I was already in bed. I have a rather extensive collection of puzzles that I collect and then I display in my office. When we got married, I agreed that I would leave them in my office when they were finished and that he would never have to find the pieces lying around. He often told me that I was filling the house with eyesores and that he wanted to live in a home, not a child's playhouse. That night, after he left, I redid one of my favorite puzzles to seek comfort in its familiarity. It was a gift from a friend that has moved away a few years ago. It was a beautiful custom-made puzzle, and it meant the world to me. The picture that the puzzle creates is one of me and my friend at our graduation. It's a big puzzle comprising about 200 plus pieces, so I didn't finish it that day, and I went to bed, leaving the pieces scattered over our dining table. When I woke up the next morning to finish the puzzle, it was no longer on the table where I had left it. It wasn't in our bedroom and it wasn't in my office. None of my collection was. I finally went to the kitchen to ask my husband if he had seen my puzzle collection. He looked at me with a smug little smirk and told me that he had put them all where they belong. I immediately knew that he had thrown them into the trash. It was Friday morning, and that's when the trash is taken away, so I knew that I had lost them forever. I didn't waste any time shouting at him. I went to my room and I packed up my essentials before taking a taxi to my mom's place. He didn't stop me from leaving. He didn't ask me where I was going. I told my mom what happened, and she told me that I could stay at her place however long I needed until I could figure out what my next steps were going to be. I consulted my friends about the matter, and they told me that my husband had been asking everyone where I was and had been telling them to keep their secret about his inquiries. They also advised me to look into divorce with my husband, and if that wasn't an option, then we should try couples counseling. My husband realized that I was serious, so he started spamming my phone with calls and messages, telling me that I was being rash and unreasonable, and that no normal human cared that much about glorified pieces of plastic. I had not yet replied to any of his message. Some of my friends also could not understand why the puzzles hold such value to me, but for me, that has just given me more of an incentive to remove him from my life permanently. Well, 2 days ago, I told him that I was going to mourn the puzzles more than I was ever going to mourn the end of our relationship. Many people are telling me that I'm making a mistake in seeking divorce so quickly and that I'll regret my decision. But this whole experience has taught me that I hate my husband and that I was right to cheat on him with my friend that moved away. So am I the jerk? Edit, I cheated at the very beginning of a relationship when I was about 22, when we were on break. So I took this to mean that we could see other people, but he made sure to bring it up as much as possible every time we argued. That final state should have been more like I finally realized that I wasn't in the wrong, because even he slept with other women while we were on this break, and he made that abundantly clear to me. However, he said that it wasn't okay for me to do it because it tarnishes my worth. Edit 2, I'm so thankful for all the support that I received in this post. You guys really helped me to make a decision on what to do next. Despite how my post portrays him, I don't believe that my husband was an abusive man. This post is not an overview of our marriage, just one specific day that happened to be a breaking point for me. A lot of people have said that me and my husband don't seem compatible at all, and I have come to realize this as well. I think that we work better as friends than as a married couple, and I wish him all the best in life. Secondly, many people have said that I've stopped posting and replying once the truth came out. My husband, throughout our marriage, has never once downloaded Reddit, telling me that it's for chronically online nerds. So I think the chances of him downloading Reddit and seeing this post is very slim. It has come to my attention that someone has been messaging people telling them that I was unfaithful throughout our entire marriage, which is very untrue because both me and my husband, to my knowledge, have been loyal to each other for the full 6 years that we've been married. This person posting in the comments claiming to be my husband is an internet troll and probably found our names by looking at my previous comments and posts, which have now been set to private. Once again, thank you all for the support and advice. I don't know how to express my gratitude. Alright folks, what do you think of this one?
No, I don't think OP is in the jerk for dating a divorce. I mean, it's one thing to not enjoy the same things your partner does. They are allowed to have hobbies that are different for yours. It's another thing to demean them and then to literally throw away these prized possessions.
Yeah. Well, it also seems like he kind of treats her like a trophy.
Yeah.
Like, she is valuable to him in the respect that her body is what's valuable to him.
Right. He wants to show her off, and the whole idea that she would have intimate time with another person, like, would lower her value. No. That is just really, really gross and sexist.
Yeah. So I think that this is certainly something that OP has learned from. I think that they'll be happier outside of this relationship. Hopefully they can find someone who shares their hobbies and shares their interests. And I mean, not that couples have to do everything together here, right? But it is good to be able to share some hobbies.
Right.
And it's also not good when your partner approaches you with something that they're excited about for you to demean it and disrespect it and treat it like it's not valuable at all. And I think doing that really shows a fundamental lack of respect towards your partner. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Making a Promise to My 7-year-old niece that was so ridiculous and improbable that I have a hard time believing that she thought it would come true? I just want to point out for a moment that 7-year-olds also believe in Santa. And most adults would be like, that's kind of ridiculous. How could anyone believe that a magical man flies around the whole entire world in one night and delivers presents to all the children? So, OP, I'm going to say this very carefully. Sometimes the world of children is very different from the world of adults, and they don't necessarily have an understanding of when something is ridiculous or not. Just my 2 cents before even diving into this one. Using a throwaway account since I don't want this to bleed into my very active main account. No surprise, but my niece is a little swifty. When the news of her dating Jackson Cleese started to get huge, I told her that if his team made it to the Super Bowl, that I would absolutely get tickets and we could go see her. I didn't think anything of it because I'm not a football fan, and I thought that she wasn't either. I thought that she would forget about it, and even if she didn't, I thought that she would know that this wouldn't be worth it, even if we could go, just to see a tiny glimpse of her across the stadium. I went over to my brother's house for the Super Bowl last night, and my niece refused to talk to me. I had no idea what was going on, so my sister-in-law explained what was wrong. I tried to explain to my niece that tickets were a minimum of $10,000. I should add that we live in North Las Vegas, so she thought that we would just get into the car and drive there. I tried to explain that's not how things work, and she refused to forgive me. I talked to my brother because I figured that he wouldn't want his daughter to be so disrespectful, and he said that you dug this hole by being a moron, don't put it on her for you to fix it. I asked if he was serious, and he said 100% and that I brought this all on myself. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think?
Yes, you're the jerk. I mean, what was the point in making this promise in the first place? So you could look like the hero uncle and then you just hoped she would forget because apparently you think 7-year-olds' mental spans are like 2 seconds?
Yeah, I don't know what OP was trying to pull here. I think that OP was just being kind of snide and rude to begin with and probably was making a flippant statement, and that they never really intended on or thought that the team with Taylor Swift's person would actually go ahead and win, right?
Like, it's just so, like, if you make a promise, you should do it with the intention of going through with it. To tell a child, oh yeah, I'll 100% do this thing for you, and then to renege on that promise, being like, well, she should have just known it's impossible, because of course 7-year-olds think about ticket prices and how far Las Vegas is away from the Super Bowl, and like, none of that's going to cross a 7-year-old's mind.
Yeah. So I think, again, that OP really did dig their own hole here. They should have explained at the very beginning that they were just joking. And if this 7-year-old is enamored with Taylor Swift, then even a glimpse might be something like make her feel like she's part of something, right? And I think that OP made a poor judgment call here. And I don't know that they need to be like, that they're not like the most evil person in the world or anything like that, right?
No, but he should definitely own up and apologize, not the other way around. Like, the child is not being disrespectful for being upset that her uncle lied to her.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What did the jeweler say to their partner?
The jeweler said to their partner that we're going to go on a heist to steal all the jewels because that's what we do as jewelers.
You're a real gem.
You're a real gem for me to heist. And there you go, folks. That is the picture that Amber found on Canva. And I have the apple cinnamon or licorice spice, whichever one you want to call it today, tea. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Tuesday, spelled T-W-O. Terrific Tuesday. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, have it on hobbies.
What's thrilling to one person may be boring to another, but you don't have to say that.
I think that's about true. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.